Hi, everyone. You're welcome to Let's Discuss, where we talk about practical issues that impact on our lives. More importantly, the things that would make us more effective for the kingdom and make us more productive, even in our lives generally. You're welcome. For those of you who attend this session, um, feel free, you know the drill, feel free to like, share, and contribute. And for you who are joining us for the first time, this is your father's house. Feel free to like, share, contribute. The topics on Let's Discuss is not us giving out information or dishing out data. The aim of Let's Discuss is that it serves as a platform whereby there is shared learning, there is shared wisdom, there's shared understanding. Feel free to, drop in comments as needed, and God bless you in Jesus' name. Today, I'm joined by, so it's not just, this face that you will see today. We have a special guest. We have a special June visitor in our midst. Hopefully, we'll have her for August as well. A lot of you know her as Ngozi, some know her as Sister Duni, some know her as many other names. Her name is Yosin. She is based in the Netherlands and she's a part of the Unbox Praise family. Single handedly, she does a lot in terms of molding some of the upcoming Christian artists, supporting them, mentoring, coaching, and supporting them in many ways all across the globe. So you're welcome, Ngozi, to Let's Discuss.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. It is good to be here again.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's kick off very quickly. Today will be so that we have enough time to be able to fully break down this topic. Today we'll be talking about a topic that has been a bit of a confusion for a lot of people. I'll call it, it's almost like a cloud that envelopes us where we know we need to do some things, but for some reason we're not getting them done. And today's topic is why we struggle. So Ngozi has been doing a lot of research, prayers, and based on her experience mentoring, a lot of people, she is here to come and explain to us precisely why do we struggle to get things done. We know we need to do them, but we just don't. Yeah, over to you on this. I'm really looking forward to this topic.
Yeah,
So why do we struggle?
well, struggle has a lot of ways that we can do it,
Mm,
but um, a lot of things that we struggle about actually leads us to procrastinating.
mm,
The things that we have to do, things that we want to do. And so I want to start with a little bit of a definition on procrastination. And it is defined as an act of delaying or putting off your tasks to the last minute or even over their deadline.
mm.
And I think that is something that is familiar to a lot of us. I think we are
Yeah,
both of us.
my
Yeah,
hand is
yeah,
up.
we are kings in procrastination.
Mm,
uh, I talk to a lot of people, both at my work but also online, who just sometimes struggle to get things done. Um yeah, sometimes they think it is I do not even know where to start. So, and basically, often it is with larger projects that people they just do not know where to start, so they procrastinate it, uh, and they will not finish on time. So um, procrastination is delaying or postponing something, even if you know that there will be negative consequences if you do so. So there must be some sort of reason why we do it, because if you keep struggle in getting things done, then, well, you may damage your potential in life. It may damage your mood. It may damage the mood of the people around you. It can even damage your career. And I know from when I was in school and I had to work on projects with other people, I could get really angry when they kept procrastinating and delaying their tasks when I had to combine it in the end. And I know even for my graduation project, we had to work in a team. Some of my colleagues, they just postponed. And in the end, I had to fix, because was the person who had to fix the end altogether. I had to fix a 3-month timeline in 2 weeks. So, and otherwise the 4 of us would not be able to graduate. So it can have a lot of consequences, and it can definitely impact your mood and the mood of the people around you. But I want to say at first that procrastination is not really coming from laziness. A lot of people think that procrastination is basically a form of being lazy, but actually it is rather based on fear. And it can be fear of failure and fear of rejection.
Okay.
We could go into that a little bit
Yeah.
in
Before
depth
we go,
later. Yeah.
yeah. Before we go into that, you've said some things which are, I believe, very important. And I just want to ask, some of the people listening to share, why do we think procrastination, or, I just want to get people's, responses. Is this something that is important to you? Because I would say procrastination, if I can eliminate it, would make me super, super productive. There are a lot of things
Yeah.
I should have done. There are a lot of things that, as we're talking and I'm looking at, you all, I'm thinking, gosh, I should have done 10 things or so today, but I haven't. And it
Yeah.
just carries on. It's like a baggage one carries. So
Yeah.
please drop some comments in the chat. What do you think about procrastination? How bad is procrastination, and why do we need to be able to fix it? So please feel free to drop your comments. Oh, wow, we have our brother, and I'll say father as well, Professor Emeritus. You're welcome. It's a good day all. Thank you for coming to check on us, and for
Yeah.
the other people who are online as well. You're all welcome. So please drop in the comments how bad is procrastination, and I'll allow Ngozi to continue. But I just want to get people's thoughts as to how bad do you think procrastination is, and how do you think is affecting you? And if that can be removed, would it make you more productive in terms of spiritual, physical, academic, career, etc.? So please feel free to drop your comments. Over to you. Back to you.
Yeah. Well, what we said is that it is not necessarily laziness. It is more that our lives are sort of overstressed, and that can cause us unrealistic thoughts about ourselves. That cause some sort of fear. And especially people who are overthinkers are really good procrastinators. So they can actually stop their momentum by turning their actions into worries. They have good ideas often also realistic ideas. But then when they start thinking about it and they cannot get clear vision on how to approach it, then it goes wrong in your head somewhere. And it can cause worries and thoughts like, well, I cannot do this. I don't know how to do this. Other people can probably do it better than I can do it. Or what is actually the purpose of why do I need to do it? That can also be, for example, when you have to do things in school, and you have to be working on your skills, then often people think, well, do I have to do it again? I have done it 10 times this day, so why do I have to do it another few times? And I sometimes say to students at my job, and then they say, well, I've been doing this task for 3 times now. And I think, well, you have to do it for another 40 years. So you can better make sure that you do it good today.
Yeah.
So,
So we've got a few comments. Professor Emeritus said procrastination is really bad. And I think what this means is that this topic that we're talking about on a scale 1 to 10, I think it's up there in 10 because he said he didn't say bad. He said it's really bad.
yeah.
And there's another comment as well, from Pastor Kupuli, my mom mentor. She said, it's really bad and doesn't let you get things done in good time.
Yeah.
This is a very destructive thing we're talking about here, like you said. And from what you're explaining, that it has to do a lot with fear, that
Yeah.
fear of. So please tell us a bit more, because at times when I procrastinate, and I'm using myself as an example, when I procrastinate, at times I now look back and think about the things I'm supposed to have done but why didn't I do them? Maybe some other things either crop up, or at that time I just feel, let me lie down and snooze, or let me do something else. So are you saying if I really examine it, it's sort of like fear that made me choose an alternative rather than focusing on the thing I should have done?
Yeah. I think that in many cases, people maybe they do not know where to start. They feel not enough motivated to do it, or they are not skilled enough to do it. They do not see the meaning of what they need to do. So that can all be reasons to procrastinate. And I think if you feel in yourself that you're procrastinating a task, go to why you think you are procrastinating. So first you have to recognize this, but then you also have to catch yourself in your neck and say, hey, listen up. You are procrastinating. Why are you doing it? And basically, what we said, there are 2 types of fear that cause procrastinating: fear of failure and fear of rejection. And when we look at fear of failure, then it often comes from perfectionism. And I think that, well, you and I, we both suffer from that. So we are afraid to not meet our own expectations. And often we set the levels for ourselves higher than probably other people will do. So we think we are not good enough. We can never accomplish it. Why would I invest time in it if other people will probably even do it better? Why would I use resources, money, time, energy? But well, yeah, life is not perfect. So what we do is often not perfect, and we have to work on our skills. So when we start, we are not good enough, but by doing things wrong, we learn and we grow in our skills. So I think when you look at fear of failure, you want to avoid things, you want to give up, you feel insecure, you want to postpone it. That is really a sign of perfectionism, fear of failure, not meeting your own expectations.
Thank
But
you so much. Yeah, sorry for interrupting. Yeah.
yeah,
What
I wanted to go on the fear of rejection and then maybe do a comment.
okay. Because I
Yes,
wanted to talk on that on that fear just before you talk about the fear of rejection. Something you've said there, and part of the reason, sorry I interrupted, is to drive it home a bit more.
hmm
Um, you said something which sort of resonated with me deeply. So a lot of things you're saying here is really deep because um, that fear of perfectionism or that, you know, for me, I always thought to myself that, well, okay, yeah, the perfectionism is maybe to other people. I'm not trying to be perfect to other people. I am what I am. But you've said something which is really profound there that at times that fear of perfectionism could be to ourselves. So we have
yeah,
this standard internally that we are unaware of. And at times when we do things, we're checking it against that standard and saying this may not be good enough. Yeah, that
yeah,
I just said, let me quickly mention that because I
yeah,
felt that's really profound.
yeah. Yeah, and well, again, on the opposite side of the fear of failure and the perfectionism, we have the fear of rejection, and that is basically low self-esteem, low self-value, lack of confidence, and that is that we are afraid to not meeting up on the expectations of others. So we are afraid that we will be excluded because we are because of what they think of us. But basically, it is not necessarily the thing they really say, but what we think uh, that they will reject us or why they would probably reject it. And maybe it is not even true because fear is often based on things and thoughts that we say to ourselves. It is often not realistic and caused by what others really say. But fear of rejection, well, that is more that you feel vulnerable, that you feel ashamed, guilty, lonely. You maybe want to isolate yourself, feel depressed, feel well, sort of heartbreak. But it can also be anger, jealousy, that you see yourself as a sort of a victim. Um, but often it is not realistic. So it is the thought that we have that others would have about us, but often they are not true. And yeah, it is the fear of making a fool of ourselves. I think that is basically what it is, that we do something wrong, maybe even in public, and what will people say about it?
Yeah. So there's a comment here from Professor Emeritus. It says she really nailed it for me. Perfectionism instinct had kept me from starting many things in the past. And when you said it as well, it nailed it for me because I thought, well, I'm not being perfect for anybody. I'm just going to do my own things. But actually, thinking about it, like you said, I have an internal standard that I'm holding myself to.
Yeah,
And thank you. This is so profound. I know our time really flies very quickly, and we're already 20 minutes in. How do we get out of this? So there's been a suggestion here about the Eisenhower matrix of, urgency and importance. Hopefully, we get Professor Emeritus to take us through this one day. But for people who don't
yeah,
know this matrix, what it does is it groups tasks in order of importance and urgency. So you have things that are important but not urgent. You have things that are urgent but not
yeah,
important,
yeah,
and so on and so forth. And when you are able to have all the tasks in those buckets, you then know what to focus on.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of the solution of
Well,
how does one, because now I'm really excited about this. I want to kill procrastination off. So how do we go about it?
I think the first thing that we need to remember is that we have to be realistic about life. Uh, Life is not perfect. We do not do all things perfect, even if we. That it doesn't mean that we have to be not serious about it, but sometimes we can also relax a little bit because the way we see ourselves is not always the way others see us. So, but yeah, one of the first things that is important to stop procrastination is make lists of what you want to do. Make lists of tasks, prioritize them, categorize them. Is it for your family? Is it for your work? Is it for your hobby? Is it for your house? And I always say with tasks, it is really important that you. There are some tasks that you probably have to do on Tuesday at 3 a.m. Then make sure that on Tuesday at 3 a.m. you have the appointment that you do it then. But there are also tasks that maybe you want to do them this week, and then still it is good to put them on your calendar. But you can probably do it on Monday when you feel good about it. But it could also be that you have to postpone them to Thursday. But if you actually put them down and read them every day, some sort of a to-do list, then your focus gets to it all the time, and you think, oh yeah, I still have to do it. I can do that now. So it is really important that you prioritize your task. If it does, it really have to be now. Do you can you postpone it? Can you maybe even do it next week? Do you have to do it this month? So I really I really like schedules and lists, and not necessarily that I have to check them off every day, because that can also give stress because I will not get this all done. So often I see in students as well, if they have too many tasks on their to do list for a day, then it can cause them fear again, and then they procrastinate in actually setting started. So set out a
Okay.
few things that you really need to do
Mm.
today or this week, but also that is what I always say. Make sure you also create some time to rest, create some time to do fun, do something else, do nothing without feeling guilty about it. Because
Okay.
we can um, really fill our calendars and our agendas with too many tasks without
Mm.
any space of resting. And then I know for myself, if I see a lot of things on my list, it can overwhelm me with fear, and then I procrastinate right away. So, but if you
Okay.
just see, I can do this today, um, divide your bigger task in smaller tasks that are doable. That is always what I say. Make sure that you make a list, make an overview of what you have to do, categorize it, and make it into smaller tasks that you actually can accomplish.
Okay. No, thank you. For me, the first point as well is really profound, and I would explain why. Because oftentimes, like you've rightly said, we have this expectation that we're supposed to be supermen. We are supposed to do everything we want to do. But the reality is that we can't do everything.
No.
We don't have enough time. Um, for me as well, I think after our last session on prioritization, I looked through a lot of the books I've acquired over the years, hundreds and hundreds of books. And I was forced to put some in boxes and realized to myself that I may never be able to read all these books
Yeah. Oh,
in this
yeah.
lifetime because there's so many other things to do.
Yeah.
And, like you said, it's about the priority. What is more important? So,
Yeah.
and I like the word prioritize because there's a lot of things that need to be done, but not everything is important or critical. It's sort of like saying, okay, I know I have to do 10 things, but what are the most important things? Like
Yeah.
the matrix, and you said list. Professor Emeritus said the matrix, which
Yeah.
would allow you to identify what's important, what's not
Yeah.
important. So I think this is really powerful. I would say this is one of the best sessions, this year because it's going to have a direct impact on my life. Everyone listening as well, please feel free to share some of your thoughts and maybe some things you will do differently as a result of listening to this. Are you doing too much? Or are you trying to do too much? And as a result, you're, like you said, you're not having time for rest. You're not having time to, spend time with family, do many other things. And that is making you to be an underachiever. And because
Yeah.
you're underachieving to yourself, you are now feeling you are unable to do anything. Or are you overwhelmed with so many things? And
Yeah. And that
yeah,
and
so
well, and that's why it is important that you break down your bigger task in smaller tasks that you actually can do and can accomplish, because if you accomplish something, that gives you a good feeling. But if you have a big task and you didn't finish it in the end, you can sort of feel disappointed about yourself. You can punish yourself. You should never do that. We all do, but we should not do that. We should prioritize our tasks in things that are doable. And what is really important as well is that you create a space to work on your tasks
mm,
that works for you. So I know if I have to work on tasks, I really like to have silence. So I even often wear ear covers so I can just focus myself in my brain. I know that when I started work in the morning, often the first half hour I just have to get into the flow, and then I can be really productive in the morning. So if I have to do important tasks, bigger things, and things that really need my focus, I know that my focus moments are the best in the morning. But I also have colleagues who rather do certain things at the end of the day, and they just relax and do a lot of other useless things during the day, and then they are really productive in the evening. So it is really important that you know yourself. When is the point of my day, basically, where I'm often the most effective to accomplish things, and then also create your space around it. Make sure that you have a good environment. Slow down distraction. Put your phone in another room. uh, yeah, sometimes I know people who are working on tasks, and then and I talk to them on WhatsApp, and they say, yeah, I'm working on my project, and then still they keep chatting, man. I'm sorry, you're working on, and they chat me every 10 minutes, and I think they have a really short focus. Then I know it for myself as well. If I have to work on important things, I just have to get myself in some sort of a focus, put away all distractions, and put my phone in another place. Otherwise my head goes to, I want to check my phone. That
yeah.
is,
So
I think a lot of people suffer it these
yeah,
days.
yeah, thanks so much. Because of our time now, we're now sort of like wrapping up.
Yeah,
So the three sort of like three questions for you. So there's a contribution here that there's a book recommendation, Eat That Frog. I've read that book as well. It explains the concept of facing your most difficult task when you have enough energy to confront procrastination, which is what you just said about look at the period you're in flow and
yeah,
you attack that important task, because the important task is at times it might be a task you don't find exciting to do,
no,
but by blocking out that time, making a list, attacking the most important one, it gives you the energy to proceed. I wanted to ask a question. around task. I know we have just 2 more minutes. Um, what advice do you have for people who do write out all the task on a planner? You know, some people follow different productivity systems,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, it all falls flat. People make resolutions and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to, spend 1 hour praying a day, I'm going to spend 10 minutes reading this book, I'm going to do XYZ, but it just doesn't happen. So they know it's important. They've listed it out, they've created lists about it and plans about it, but they just don't do it. Do you have maybe in 30 seconds any sort of tips for those sort of people?
Well, I think that putting the task right in front of you is a really good thing. If I want to read a book, I just put it on the couch right where I sit. If I want to fold the laundry, sometimes I just put it on my bed so I see it. I cannot walk around it. So that are things. There's a lot of things that we maybe do not want to do, but we have to do it. And just get. I think the most important thing is that you somehow have to get started. You just start somewhere. Just start somewhere and accept that it will probably not be perfect. It will probably not have your full focus. And if you notice, uh, when I, for example, want to read a book and I feel that I'm not in focus, I can put it away, do something else, try it again 5 minutes again, 5 minutes later, and often then I get into my flow of doing it. But it can also be that something happens, somebody calls, something happens. Life happens, so
Yeah,
it can be that you have plans and that you have to postpone them, but still try to pick them up at another moment. Do not punish
uh,
yourself. Give yourself some time and space to grow
mm,
and to
yeah,
develop. And
uh,
yeah, I think we often should be more relaxed on ourselves. So,
yeah. Thank you so
and
much.
we often forget the joy of it. I even spoke to one of our team recently, and he said, "You learned me to have joy in music." And
Mm,
yeah, so a lot of people they rehearse and they want to practice and they want to study and they want to get better, but they forget that sometimes you still also have to have joy.
joy in it. So
Yeah,
thank you
yeah,
so much. Thanks so much for coming. This is one of the challenges of Let's Discuss, trying to pass so much information within a compressed time. So we're now out of time. But, anyway, as we always say, if this topic has been useful for you, if you've gained a lot and you're saying, hang on, I need more of that, let us know. We feature it in the future weeks and make the necessary arrangements. I think this has been really powerful. Thank you so much, Ngozi,
no,
for this blockbuster of a session. God bless you so much for it.
yeah. So let's face our fears and get
Mm.
to work.
Yeah, yeah. So, just a few announcements. Like, they would be streaming some of our concerts starting on the 20th of July. But we'll have some soft streaming over the next 2 weeks. There was a concert that was done a couple of years ago, I think 2 years ago, or was it last
Yeah,
year?
yeah.
Yeah, two
One and a
years
half,
ago,
one and a half or
one
so.
and a half years ago, and we'll be streaming it. Lots of it's really powerful. Watching some of the videos got me really excited about it. So mark your diaries. You'd begin to see on our social media that we'll be streaming it over the course of the next, starting 20th of June, of July, sorry, and it would be streamed over 4 weeks. And then immediately after, there was a concert that was done in Ibadan as well. Four powerful ministers of God that will be streamed as well, and some other performances that we have. And I think we have 2 songs as well that was written will be streamed within this period. So remember us in our prayers, and please, when you get the invite, help us share so that we can support this, upcoming ministers of God as they share their message with the world. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Osin. Thank you for everyone who contributed. Welcome back, Professor Emeritus. We want to see more of you. Thanks, Pastor Kupoli, my mom. Thanks, Alice as well, your contribution as well. And every other person that would watch this later. Thank you so much. And like Yosen said, her parting words is, never forget the joy you have in your life. Never allow things you want to do and your ambition stifle the joy. First, be joyous, and with that joy, know that life is not perfect. Plan properly, prioritize, read the books, eat the frog, and all those things. Learn to prioritize, and you will discover that you're focused on the little things, and God will bless you so that you can move from joy to joy. So
there might always be people who are better, stronger, faster, but that doesn't have to stop us from doing our thing and developing our skills.
And God will bless us all. So next week, let's stay tuned. There's another topic next week which we would share. It's cooking up really, really heavy. So please make sure next week, make it a date to be here, and God bless you. Have a great week. And, thanks everyone once again. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.
And you will never ever change. You are the Lord. You remain the same. It's a simple chorus. You will never ever change. You are the Lord. You remain the same. Help me sing. You will never, 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 never. You are the Lord. Let your name be glorified. Oh, you will never, 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 never.